This is, I don't care if nobody's here, we're just gonna start this. This is the Game of Thrones Season 8 pre-show. So before episode 1 comes out, I'm gonna just do some talking about the show. Um, what I think is gonna happen, what I think of the characters, and if anybody shows up, we can do a Q&A. But I can't, they won't know about the Q&A. Until anybody comes into the room. So until people come into the room, I'm just going to start talking about certain things. So again, the contest on the channel, you need to, in any of the Game of Thrones videos that for season 7 or 8 or whatever, I check all of them. All you have to do is be a subscriber, and then you need to tell me what your favorite or / best moment of Game of Thrones is for a chance at winning the Game of Thrones limited edition Oreos that I have right here. Yep, so whoever that is, hello. Welcome. So let's just talk about it. So I didn't know. I still don't know what the title of this is going to be. Do you know what the title of this? Hey, Belinda, do you know what this title of this episode is going to be? Is this like the Battle of Winterfell, or yeah? So I want to talk about though, like each character and stuff. So might as well start with who. I mean, if I had to gun to my head, like I honestly don't know if anybody's gonna make it to the end of the show. I think I'm being just too pessimistic about it, but I don't know what we're gonna get here. This is different than the regular season premieres because all pretenses have kind of been shaken off. Everybody knows where everybody else stands or is about to. I mean, once Jaime gets to the north, he's gonna let them know that she's playing and shit. So I would say Jaime's survival is really important right now because he is the only one who knows what Cersei's up to. So watch out for him. People are saying we need to watch out for Tormund and Beric, and that is true as well because they were at the fucking wall when it blew down. So, and we don't really know what happened to them. But like most things, no body, no death. And I'm pretty sure that the actors have all been seen shooting stuff, so I wouldn't be worried about them. Another thing about this last part is we're not going to have Littlefinger here. I'm glad that I was able to reconcile my feelings with what they did to Littlefinger's character. I just saw a thing today because freaking, IGN is like Walmart, man. I don't want to go there, but I go there. And they had an interview with Aidan Gillen, who plays freaking Littlefinger, Battle Marcus 8. And he said that he had it figured that either Arya or Sansa was going to kill him, and he put money on Arya. And this was like 4 years ago. He said he had like the Funko Pops of himself and Arya, and he always has it where the Arya Funko Pop is standing behind him with swords, and so he pretty much called his own death, which is pretty exciting, and I'm glad he kept it to himself for all this time. And at least him saying that that's how he thought his character should go out makes me feel a lot better about how he went out, because he was the only big, Olenna Tyrell. Like, think about this. They were wiping out the remnants of the conspiracy against everybody else. Lysa's dead, Littlefinger's dead, Olenna Tyrell is dead. All the old, like, everybody that had their hands in killing Joffrey and starting the Lannisters and the Starks against each other are pretty much gone now. And like I've said in my reviews, I hope that is not how the books go. I really don't want the books to follow this, because I mean, otherwise, why even read them? But so we've got to figure that Weiss and Benioff have done something. Hey, Pablo Gutierrez, welcome to the room. Feel free to anybody to ask me stuff. What do you want to know about, my thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? What do you think we're going to see this episode? I mean, I feel like it's probably going to be a lot of Winterfell and some of King's Landing. I looked in IMDb and it had like King's Landing actors and everybody from the north, and I figured we're gonna get the Dany and coming to Winterfell thing, because that just seems like a duh way to start, because well, not dumb, but like a no-brainer that was what we're gonna get. We're gonna get the whole Winterfell is yours thing, and Sansa's gonna look weird. Maybe they'll explain what happened to Baelish. I don't think anybody will really care, though. I mean, he's out of... Nobody should care that he's gone. But we'll get that. I think this is going to be like when I said that this isn't like other episodes, other premieres, we don't have to do this is where that person's at, this is where this person's at, because we don't have time for that. This is only an hour long. Yeah. So maybe we'll see the Golden Company. That would be good. That'd be interesting, because we haven't seen like really anything. I think we had one guy from the Golden Company show up in like what, season 2 or 3, or maybe somebody that was dealing with what was going on in Astapor and the big old pyramid and shit. I lost my train of thought. But yeah. What do you guys think we're gonna get here? And I apologize that I don't have like video of Game of Thrones on here, and that it's just me talking. So this is how the live stream is gonna be. So it's kind of like I need to. I don't know if there's a way for me to control the chat better on this, but it usually pops up each one. So maybe you guys are typing and it hasn't popped up yet. I'm gonna put this here. There seems to be like a consensus with people that Jon and Dany are going to get into it when he realizes that he's a Targaryen, because of his honor. I mean, I kind of feel like because of the situation that we're in, I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that that's something that he can really do much about right now. I mean, they've already done the deed, and all they can really do is not do it again if he finds out this episode. But still carry on like normal. I don't know if it's going to be one of these, you just want Tyrion to survive, Winterfell will fall tonight, but Arya will escape. I hope, the North is done, right? I mean, we've got everybody together, but really, this isn't going to end in the North. That would be really, like, everything's got to go. So everything heading south is just going to be gone. And so the fall of Winterfell, I mean, the place has already fallen once to other usurpers, and now you've got the whole undead White Walker thing coming. Tyrion surviving, he may still end up on the Iron Throne. I feel like the three best contenders for the Iron Throne right now to me are Jon, Cersei, and Tyrion. Just because I feel like, I hope Sansa dies. I hope that if we get anything in this, because, like, I don't know, there's just something about Sophie Turner, too, that, like, I don't know. I've never cared for her from her character I haven't cared for her in the books. I didn't like her in the books. I didn't like her as a character. I felt bad at what she was going through. Okay, I'm not a monster. I'm not Joffrey. I hated what she was going through, but part of me even was like, "That's what you get. You betrayed your family." But then you go, "Well, she's a little girl. She got scared." So I give her that. But like every moment, of this, lesser characters have killed themselves for, that were better than her. Characters that were better than her made bigger sacrifices. And just watching her survive, I mean, it is like that, right, though? All the good ones go quick. You know, why do the good, only the good die young? Is that Billy Joel song? You know, we lose all the honorable people, we lose all the brave people, we don't lose the assholes. So, I mean, it's everybody that's bad. Like, it really is like a whole show of very kind of from bad to worse to, there's a lot of gray area people here. And then you've got the few, like John, who are just, so good that it makes me want to throw up. Yeah, and I still, the scene between her and Ramsay on their wedding night, it's like, I get that no consent is no consent, but it didn't, like Daenerys' thing and not having the book translation where you didn't understand what Drogo was trying to say to her on their wedding night. If you read the book, you realize that he, in his perspective, wasn't doing anything wrong. And because there was the communication gap, that's why it seems, like in one person's opinion, it's a non-consensual sex. The other person, they thought it was. And in Ramsay's and Sansa's, they were married too. And again, it was just kind of like this scene where everybody's like, she got raped. And I'm like, did she though? And I know that's touchy. But, it just was kind of like, I don't know. And yeah, they don't have good chemistry, but the thing is that's probably because their characters have been apart for so long. Like, they're so close in real life, and so we expect them to be that way on screen. But I also find that Sansa doesn't have chemistry with anyone. And I blame that part on Sophie Turner. Because Maisie has chemistry with everyone. Every single person that she comes in contact with on this show benefits from her being around. Her and freaking Tywin Lannister, I mean, come on. That is to me, like I said in my reviews, the scenes between Tywin and Arya are amazing. You get to see a side of Tywin that his kids didn't even see. That his kids wished they'd show. And he did it to somebody that he maybe knew was Arya, maybe not, but like Maisie just brings it out. Because even with like the Hound, it was just like in the last episode of season 7 when he hears about Arya being, tough and getting through, he gets that smile on his face, like she's not even there and she's affecting his emotions, and that's just a testament to Maisie. Everyone, like I said, everyone they put her with, you get a great performance out of everybody. But Sophie, I mean, you know what? She looks like that girl that's always really bored wherever she goes. Like she's just like, like so put out about everything. And even though she's gotten older and more experience as an actor, she just always looks that way, no matter what's going on. And the only other emotion she has is tears or near tears or, and just because you put her in the tight outfits, like the black outfits, and 3 hours ahead of you. Really? Well, it's on in about 43 minutes. Why do I get to see it 3 hours ahead of you? Well, while you wait to answer that, so enough beating up on Sophie Turner. Daenerys. Let's talk about Daenerys, man, because a lot of people have been saying for probably the last couple of years that they think she's gonna die. Well, it's only 7:17 here. It comes out at 8 o'clock Central Time. So it'd be 8 Central, 9 Eastern. So it's 8:17 on the East Coast. And like what, 5 in California? So, what are you, Mountain Time, Belinda? Or does things just come out later there for you? But anyway, Daenerys, I feel like she can't die, in my opinion. I mean, look, if everybody just goes, I'm just going to put that out there. If everybody goes, then none of this really matters. I almost sometimes kind of wish that it goes down like that, where you just think, oh, they're so close to almost winning and then not. Almost like, because they talk about the wheel, right? That like she wants to break the wheel, and she's talking about slavery and other things. But I feel like this whole thing could be a wheel. This kind of like Battlestar Galactica ending where everything is just a continuous loop. That the world just keeps on trying and trying, and maybe we get better this time, and maybe we'll learn from our mistakes, and maybe this is just another time period that ends, and they'll talk about it later, and there will be people that survive, I think, but like I'm going worst case scenario. I always do, and then I work backwards from the worst. So like when we get that out of the way and we talk about like who has to live, I think Dany has to live at least long enough to have the prince who was promised. I think that's still coming, because we honestly don't know when will this get resolved. How will this end? You know. Will this major conflict get resolved quicker, and will we get to like springtime by the end of this? If Dany dies, I think she has to at least have a kid before that, so maybe she survives the initial stuff but dies like maybe in childbirth or something. I don't know. But you know, Arya's not like queen material, so I don't think she'd want to be leader in the North. So if Sansa dies, who do you got? I think it still has to be Jon, right? Or will Arya grow up and Tyrion would rule for Dany and Jon's kid? Could be. I'm worried, like I said in my reviews, that they're going to have a lot of time spent with the backstory of the White Walkers or the Night King. I'm worried that we're going to burn precious minutes of Game of Thrones goodness on stuff that they should have taken care of in Season 7. I still think that Season 7 was rushed. I didn't think so at first, but once I started paying attention to certain things that people were talking about, realizing that these plot holes and things like that seem confusing could have been dealt with if the season was longer. And I know that that's just us being wishful thinking and selfish and just wanting more of the things that we love. I'm trying to trust that these 6 episodes are going to really give us the best that we could actually have of Game of Thrones. Because David Nutter's directing, and David Nutter directed some of the best X-Files back in the 90s, and he's been directing consistently good television over the years. So I'm really happy with the guy who directed Battle of the Bastards in here. We've got like some solid directing coming, and with Benioff and Weiss doing the final episode, I think that's just, they've earned that, right? I mean, the only other person that you probably want to see direct the finale would be Martin himself. Really? Well, they're making a big deal about this, Marcus, and I mean, we've been waiting for practically 2 years for this to come out, and that's pretty cool that in Portugal the first episode is going to come out at the same time as the U.S. But you know, and you're saying that it comes out at 9, but I'm pretty sure it comes out at 8 here. If these 6 eps fail, it will be the biggest letdown in TV history. It has to be good. Yeah, the reason I'm doing this is because I was sitting here just fretting. I haven't felt this like amped for a final season since Breaking Bad. Since when I knew that the last episodes were going to air of Breaking Bad, I was just like rigid coming back from the season like 5 like finale that just made everyone wait a year to find out what happens when Hank, spoilers, you know, finds a certain thing, and you know what's coming after when we come back, and we had to wait a year. And just knowing that there were only a few more episodes left of that show, it felt like how I feel right now. 123. Oh man, in the morning? Yeah, it would be in the morning. Oh, wait. Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Well, it's gonna be a really early morning for you, because by the time it starts, it'll be over around 3 in the morning your time. Wow. What else do we got here? Well, since Telltale did break down this Game of Thrones series that was supposed to have a season 2 isn't coming out. We never saw the Forresters in the TV series. I'm glad that they didn't, because at this point, you know, you can't really bring these people in the last minutes. Like, oh, by the way, here's the Forresters. They've been having some real problems with the fucking trees. If you see the game, you know what I'm talking about. But it's disappointing that this didn't get a second season. But because they got all the voice actors, all the actors from the show are on in this game, from Lena Headey to Emilia Clarke to Peter Dinklage. Everybody's in this. It's really cool. Oh, the dude who plays Ramsay Bolton is in this. Oh my goodness, he was amazing in this. And this was out at the height of Ramsay being like a complete scumbag. This was before Battle of the Bastards, but this was at the height of his evilness when this game came out. And now that we don't have, like, besides getting rid of all the politics on the show now, we've just got people trying to survive. And I mean, there's still the little politics, the like backstabbing, and the little bit that's going on in King's Landing and stuff. But I really think that wow, what was I saying? Oh man, it's already been a long day. I imagine Euron's gonna be successful getting the Golden Company back to back Cersei, right? But really, I have a feeling like that's her big play, right? This is her last big play, so I said in other videos that I think Cersei's got one more thing. One more terrible, terrible thing in her. And I'm trying to figure out what that could possibly be. I mean, I don't think she's going to kill Tyrion. I don't think she can. And I think if Jaime dies by her hand, she's going to be right behind him. So who do we think she could kill that would make sense for the show? And I'm really having a hard time with that. Because who's left on her list? So it has to be somebody unexpected or somebody that at least I don't expect. Like if she were to kill Jon or Dany or Arya or Sansa. I mean, if she killed Sansa, that'd be like ultimate, like, you know what I mean? Like Sansa's worst fear, really, right? Besides being killed like by Joffrey, would be being killed by the Queen. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? How about the Hound and the Mountain? You think Arya will kill Cersei? The Mountain will take Jaime's head when he tries to kill Cersei? Ooh, can you imagine if that's true? Can you imagine how fucking crazy that would be? I mean, we haven't seen the Mountain. The Mountain has to do something, right? He has done nothing. He has been a really big, like, hood ornament. He has just been intimidating. That is all he's done. Since he killed Oberyn, he has just been a statue. He has to kill somebody. And I'm afraid of that. Because I liked Oberyn, and what happened to Oberyn shouldn't happen to anyone. So yeah, I mean, I'm afraid that he's going to get his hands on somebody we like. Yeah, Cersei still to blame. Blames her for Joffrey. Yeah, you know, well, that's because she'll never take responsibility for anything. It's her. She knows what's, you know, what she's done. She just doesn't care. I hope Arya kills Cersei. That would be awesome. Yeah, the Hound says in that last episode of season 7 that you know who's coming for you. It's been coming a long time, and I guess he could be talking about himself. I don't know who else he's talking about, unless maybe the Hound saw something in the fire. I don't know. But I do want to see the Hound fight the Mountain. I mean, at this point, like, since the books aren't out, and I still consider this to be fan fiction. The show is the show, the books are the books. So I feel like the show should just do whatever it wants. I just have that feeling. Well, yeah, I mean, that's not a bad feeling. I mean, Sansa is definitely a possibility. And, I mean, and it really would be devastating. Like, to see, I mean, I don't like Sansa, but seeing her get killed by Cersei would be the old, like a victim of abuse getting killed by their abuser that they've escaped and finding themselves in their clutches again. Can you imagine the terror of going out like that? Like, ugh. Because I know that we're not done with some seriously traumatizing deaths, like stuff that, like, when you really wrap your head around the ideas of how they die and who kills them in this show, it's always pretty psychologically messed up. But, like, I want to know, like, okay, so, like, Melisandre went to Volantis, right? And she says she has to come back, though, to die here. Tormund will be killed by the Mountain. Ooh, now see, that would be, if he was doing it to protect Brienne, that would be amazing. That would be an amazing death. Because Tormund's not afraid to die. He just doesn't want to go out like a punk. That's just, yeah, you don't want to see the Mountain fight Arya. I mean, you do, but that's too much like Yoda fighting, Count Dooku in Episode 2. Just all kind of zipping around the taller person. And it just would look weird. And if Arya fought the Mountain, it'd be amazing to watch. But do you know how fucking frazzled everybody in that audience would be? Everybody be gripping their chairs. There'd probably be Prince, like, waiting for for somebody to die in that situation, and hopefully it wouldn't be Arya. Benzie Good, how are you doing? Welcome to the room, man. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, or just any general comments, what they think is going to happen. Like I said, don't forget about the contest we've got going on. If you're a subscriber to the channel, we're giving away the limited edition Oreo Game of Thrones. I've got 2 of these for subscribers to the channel who, in the comment section, put their favorite / best moment of Game of Thrones. That is going till the end of the 6 episodes. So all the comments and all the people that put that in there are all going in a hat, and we'll be giving away one of those limited edition Oreos. The other is for comments that's kind of like a March Madness thing, where you pick who do you think is going to be on top at the end of this. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the throne, but who's top dog at the end of this? Or is it no one? That kind of situation. You can pick no one. And that goes, starting today, whoever dies gets taken off that bracket. So if you picked that person, you're out. But if you don't, and I can't stress enough, if nobody dies in this week's episode, then we can keep going for another week before we put our names in that. But we'll be giving away, whoever picks the right one or whatever, we'll figure out how to give away the second one if it doesn't work out, but we'll see. So just everybody be aware of that. The one contest is they're both going till the end, but one is different because if you pick the person who picking a person who dies, you're out. Small possibility Gendry takes the throne. Hey, you know what? I keep forgetting about Gendry. I mean, when he showed up again when I was rewatching season 7, I was really happy to see him. I know it's fan service. I know he doesn't have to be there. He is not needed. He could have just gotten on that boat and swam away, and it'd be a Watch Mojo clip saying, plot holes or things that never went anywhere in Game of Thrones, and Gendry be one of them. But I like the thought of Gendry because he is the last Baratheon that we know of. And it shows that all the houses are still represented. You know what I mean? all the main houses anyway that are in the show. Melisandre back the wrong Baratheon. Yeah, but I want to know. I have a feeling she's going to die by fire, right, Melisandre? But I also want to know why Varys has to come back, and what does she know about him that we don't know? There could be a really big wrinkle in here, because some people say, and I've heard people say it, that they think Varys might kill Dany. That would be insane, but not out of complete character, because what if he decided that she wasn't going to do something she was going to be wrong for the realm? Maybe she kills a few too many people, makes the wrong choice, because Varys has, kind of been... He wasn't always backing Daenerys, let's just say that. Let's see what else. LS here says, in the end, the Night King will take the throne. He is the rightful king. He deserves it. He can bring you to life after you have been dead. Well, if the Night King's on the end and that's who you pick, I don't know. I mean, it'd be messed up, boring. Is Bran the Night King? I don't, people have said that too, like, is Bran the Night King? But didn't we see the Children of the Forest turn that person into the Night King, and it wasn't the actor who plays Bran that got turned into the White Walker that I believe is the Night King. I think they just look kind of similar, and with the mocap and stuff that's on, or is that makeup? He looks CGI to me, but maybe it is makeup. There's something going on there, and again, with only 6 episodes to explain all this stuff in a satisfactory situation, I don't know, man. Like, Bran being the Night King is just too weird. But there is something going on there. There's some sort of yin and yang, maybe, like how he could see the crow, like he could control the crows, but when the Night King saw the crows, he lost his key. He broke the connection. So there's something else at work here that I feel like we don't know. But anyway, let's see what else we got here. We got about 25 minutes to airtime. So guys, yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys want me to talk about. Let me know what you guys think about things. Who haven't I talked about yet? Brienne. What do you guys think about Brienne's chances? That wasn't the Night King, it was the White Walker general, the one with the beard and long hair. Are you sure about that? Because I don't know. I'd have to maybe look that episode up here on Hulu. Because I think it was at the end of season 4 or 5. I thought, yeah, it could be. Alright, so, who haven't we talked about? Okay, so I was going to say, talk about Brienne. Does anybody think Brienne's safe? Because her job's kind of done, right? Not even kind of. She's taking care of them. She got them almost 80% positive. She got both girls. Well, both girls ended up there where they need to be. And I know she plans on protecting them. Could she be a legit person to be like the Warden of the North if there's nobody up there that can or wants to rule? Because I still don't think Arya wants to take it. And I mean, if you leave Sansa alive, she'll definitely do it. MC Keybells, look, this is not normal live streaming. This is me desperate because YouTube took away my ability to live stream on my mobile device, being under 1,000 subscribers. So I am doing the only thing I can think of to live stream for YouTube is through my PlayStation broadcast. That's why I found this Game of Thrones game I had and put it up here, and that's why I figured, well, we can at least talk about it. Bran works into Night King Dragon and kills him that way. That'd be awesome. I mean, they were teased the whole "you're never gonna walk again, but you will fly" thing a long time ago. But since he has been in crows and other things that fly, that could be taken away. But I mean, as soon as I heard that all those years ago, I was like, oh, he's gonna be in a dragon, and he has to be. See, we may want this show to be high art and give us these really just absolutely perfectly written stories that give us everything we want. But what we're probably going to get is a lot of fan service, and that's really in final seasons what people kind of want, don't they? I mean, we want to be satisfied. You feel no one is safe. I don't think anybody's safe. The other thing is, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but maybe I'm thinking about this way too pessimistically. What if hardly anybody dies? Okay, we always assume that the bodies are going to just hit the floor because it's Game of Thrones, right? What if hardly anybody dies? I mean, sure, we can lose people like Tormund and things like that, but maybe and because of how the actors and how they sell this show, maybe we're really they're trying to build it up so that we're always thinking someone's going to die. We will probably lose a good amount of side characters and people like you're saying, Lyanna Mormont might be safe, but maybe she's not. Maybe we will lose characters like that, and they've given us just enough joy on screen to, like, when they go, you go, oh, not the little girl Mormont, she was badass, now she's dead. Theon, I think, will get killed. Hector Salamanca, great name. Great name, man. I think Theon has to die. And I think he'll die fighting Euron, killing Euron, and then that will let Yara, however you pronounce her name, be able to take the Iron Islands and make the changes that she wants to make. Like I've said, though, that may happen, but then if everybody goes, if everything is taken over, because the Iron Islands are up north too, right? So I mean, they say that they're over water, they're safe, like on an island, but are they? Any writer can just write, oh, and then we found out that the White Walkers can make the waters freeze, and then they can catch them in their boats and go to the Iron Islands. Theon should die protecting Sansa or Jon. I think he has to die protecting his sister because she's the only one who came for him when he was taken, and he failed to leave with her. And now she was taken, and he failed her again by jumping off ship. It's the only way he can get his honor back. He knows that she should be the queen. He's a man who can't have kids. He's done so many bad things. The only good thing he can do is try to save his family. And what Jon gave him in the last episode was freedom to do that. He said he couldn't forgive him for everything, but what he could, he would. And I just think that really frees up. I mean, because he already went after. He said he's going after Yara. So I mean, he's going to be off doing his own thing. And honestly, they'll probably space out Theon's stuff over the course of these 6 episodes before we get anything crazy. Thank you, Hector Salamanca, for being a fan of my reviews. On Better Call Saul, yeah, I love Better Call Saul, man. I love doing Better Call Saul episode reviews. If you guys haven't checked them out, Season 4 is up on the channel. There's a playlist for it. I love talking about Better Call Saul. Ozarks, I wish I could have given Season 2 more time with those. I love doing Season 1, though. Feel so bad for Theon. I think that, like I said in my Season 7 review, or Episode 7 of Season 7 review, if you don't feel sympathy for Theon at this point, that's fine, I guess, but really, he has suffered enough for a TV show. Like, there have been people that have done a lot worse that have gotten forgiven on TV shows for things they've done. And Theon, I mean, he can't get any more pathetic. He's already, he wishes he was dead anyway. More Happy, please. Yeah, I will be doing More Happy. We've got, as soon as the episodes come out every week. I watch them all the time, man. I really appreciate your insights. I think Season 2 Ozark did well. I really like well. Laura Linney's amazing. Thanks for watching all the time, Hector. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Is Jon a god? R'hllor or whatever. Those names, man. Come on. We're in America, and I have pretty good diction. I can say a lot of words. But these words, like, are apostrophe H-O-L. Just say Holler. That's his name, man. Or Holler. But I don't know if Jon's a god. Maybe it could have to do with how he came back. But then what does that say about Beric Dondarrion? He came back. They're the only 2 that came back that we know of. And I still I think Beric Dondarrion's fucking dope, man. I love it. I want a t-shirt with him and the eye patch and his flaming sword, man, from like the 6th episode where they're fighting. I want that on a t-shirt, man, or on a mug or whatever. I don't care. He's such a kick-ass character. I wish that they had him more on the show, but I really would like an explanation. But I feel like this is gonna end up being like Lost, where we're gonna have still like a whole bunch of unanswered questions that we'll never get. You know, and people are gonna see these people at cons and stuff and being like, "What's the deal with, you know, John coming back from the dead? Why is he special? Why could he do it? Why was, you know, what's so important about all this?" And I think we're gonna have answers that, you know, maybe somebody on their deathbed, or they make a book about it, like my life on Game of Thrones and all the secrets that I figured out. But honestly, I think we're just gonna have to take what we get. Hopefully it's good, because it has to be. Belinda R. is right. This has to be good. If this ends up being disappointing, oh my god, will it not be fun to review this? But I have all faith in this. Even from the beginning of the show, the very first episode, watching it, the day it came out, and being like, what the hell did I just watch? What do you think will happen when Daenerys is with Jon and Sansa at the table with the council? Thanks, Renee. I don't know. Yeah, I know Caitlin came back, but not on the show. But see, we're not, the show people, the people that don't read the books or read anything on the internet, don't know this. Most people don't know this. And so, yeah, but it would explain some of that too. I don't know what's going to happen. Probably a little bit of drama, because they're going to have the Northmen having to figure out whether or not Jon made the right decision. There's going to be a bunch of, how dare he, foreign whore, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm worried about. But again, those people just need to get in line. Like, stop worrying about the lady with the dragon. Start worrying about the guys that want to kill you and turn you into undead people. Random, but I always like the interaction with Jon Snow and Tyrion. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that they had some interaction in season 1 and then none. Yeah, they haven't seen each other since season 1 when Tyrion was taking a piss off the wall. But you could tell that they liked each other because they're similar. They had a lot in common about their lives, bastards and imps. Thank you very much, K. Renee. Let's see. Yeah, we're about 15 minutes out from the show starting. I want to thank everybody for coming in and out of this. More stuff to talk about. What do we have? I'm forgetting things. Qyburn, man. What do you think's going to happen to Qyburn? I think he needs to get like a severe, like a horrifying death. Qyburn is the one who made the mountain he is today. And I think I just want tonight to set a stage, a magnificent stage. Yeah, that's true, man. When I watched the pilot, I thought, man, Tyrion is mean to Jon. Yeah, I think that it's going to set it up, and we're going to get something at the end that's going to make everybody collectively shit their pants. I think they're going to give us something like where it just ends and we're like, and immediately the internet's going to go insane. Well, when I was first watching this episode, I didn't know what I was watching. I was like, what the hell? Some giant barbarian guy's like gonna rape a little blonde girl, and a little boy got pushed out a window, and I'm just like, what was this? And I still kept going. Like, I don't know, man, what this says about me, but like we all keep coming back to this show. It's so much of what's going on in this show is horrifying. I'm like a lot of like just choice levels of the way people act. I'm not simulcasting the show. When it comes on, we'll be done with this, and then we'll be back right here for the after review reaction video live stream. This is again kind of like me practicing, because I've been doing live streams kind of all day long just to make sure that I got everything right for this. I'm sorry that this isn't a bigger picture. But for people who want to talk about this right away, this is all I can do for now until I can get my subscriber count bigger, or I get better equipment. It's not like this on most of my reviews. Most of my reviews are full-sized, but I was desperate to figure out how to live stream this, and here we are. Samwell Tarly kills Qyburn with real magic. That would be dope. Could Samwell be the most powerful man in Westeros, the true maester? Again, you know, winter has come. Enjoy the show, everyone. Thanks, Belinda R. Samwell, I think, is going to do something important, and I do think that he will probably live. If we're dealing with a situation where like I said, maybe a lot of characters aren't going to die. Like if it's not going to be the end game situation where pretty much everybody goes and there's almost nobody left, where's the fun in that, really? You know? Maybe it'll be like a 6 feet under thing, like I said, where something gets revolved and we see like life later, and we hear about so and so died of this, or so and so lived on, and this baby's this way, and blah blah blah. You know, we might get kind of a Lord of the Ringsy type ending where gives us a whole bunch of where are they now kind of things. Maybe springtime has come in the last episode. Be really interesting. But yeah, the Samwell killing Qyburn would work, man. That works for me, you know, because he's like the opposite of a maester. I mean, he always complains about how they kicked him out for what he does, and it's like, yeah, man. You can't do that stuff to people. He's like the Nazis, the Operation Paperclip, where we hired Nazis to work on stuff for us. Cersei's got her own little Nazi scientist working on things. And man, again, Cersei is the most dangerous person. I am more worried about what Cersei's going to do than actually worried about how far the Night King is going to take things. Because if he's going to take things all the way, then he's going to take things all the way, and I can't do anything about it. But man, I know Cersei's going to kick us all right in the crotch as hard as she can before she goes out. How she goes out, I don't know. Again, we could be talking about a lot of karmic kind of things because of, like, remember that whole thing with the witch. And I still think her pregnancy is fake. I think Cersei's pregnancy is definitely fake. If it's not, she is going to give birth to, like, the fucking Antichrist. And I don't think she should be allowed to procreate anymore. Hi, sir, from Philippines. Will you live stream Game of Thrones now, just to be sure? Thanks. I'm not live streaming the show. I am live streaming a review. That's the difference here. It's a live stream review that's happening after the show. And it'll be right back here on my channel. Too much after need the possibility of spin-offs. Mad King will definitely be a spin-off. I don't want a prequel unless the prequel is going to go back way further than Robert's Rebellion. Because Robert's Rebellion, now that we know that it's all based on a lie, based on like just hurt feelings about people who were in love that weren't supposed to be in love and all this, and all these people died. I mean, that's like Greek tragedy stuff. That's like Helen of Troy. That's like Romeo and Juliet. And I don't need to see like a 3, 4, 5 season show about Robert's Rebellion and the Mad King. We've already heard enough stories, and it kills the mystique of a story when you finally see it. It's why like the prequels were almost going to like the Star Wars prequels. Like I think they were going to be, they hurt the overall series of Star Wars, not just because of how they were made, but the story just kind of took some of the mystique out of the Jedi and the lore. And sometimes, like Hitchcock says, less is more. And I don't want a spin-off. I don't want prequels. I just don't understand why don't we just get season 10 and have us focus on new characters or a new section of the world. I mean, they call this a continent. We don't know what the rest of the damn planet looks like, you know? If they want to do more Game of Thrones, take us somewhere else in that world. I would like Dorne Wright, Preston. I really would like Dorne done right. That was one of the biggest disappointments of the show, was how they did Dorne. They did Dorne, the Brotherhood Without Banners, they didn't do very well, but that's probably because they couldn't do Catelyn Stark, Lady Stoneheart. Yeah, I am not psyched for a prequel or a sequel. I wouldn't be a spin-off. what do you do that doesn't like? Because I guess most of these people all want off the show, right? So that's why they want to do a prequel, because if they do it in the current world, how do they explain what's going to happen? And that might be telling in of itself. Like if all these people wouldn't be willing to come back, maybe it says how many people die before the end of this. But and what kind of world do we have after this? Or maybe like if they did another show and this show does end in like major devastation, maybe they could have done season 10 that sets it like in hundreds of years into the future, where the world has gone on and new kings and queens have started up in places, with whole new families and houses and things like that, and new magic and old magic and little secrets and blah blah blah. Like I don't know why they always have to go to fucking prequels or spin-offs. Just give us more of the world. Just show us something different. Like I said, there's a whole big world, right? And there's not just one continent. Is there? Or, this could be something that I don't know. YT Empire spin-off? I don't even know what that is, man. Is that one of the mercenary companies, or is that something else? I don't know what that is. And I'm kind of mad that I don't. Asian Game of Thrones. Oh, YT. Okay, gotcha. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Asian Game of Thrones. I am not actually live streaming the show. Okay, Wildmark. This is a pre-show talking like like we're pre-gaming. And then you go watch the show, and then we're going to come back here and we're going to review it. This is just for people that are tired of sitting here waiting for the show to come on, and we can all talk about what we think is going to happen. So Wild Mark gets right to the point. Are you streaming the show or not? No, because I'm not going to get like copyright striked. You have to officially purchase HBO. Well, I hope you weren't, man. Okay, I know what it's like to not have HBO, and I know what it's like to scramble around trying to find places to watch shows. I've had to watch The Walking Dead on my phone, like through like nefarious websites. I used to do that all the time. So, and if you're in another country, it might be hard to find the show, and I understand scrambling around for all that. So, anyway, we've got we're 5 minutes out, so I think this is a good place to stop. I want to thank everybody for coming here just to hang out for a second and listen to me ramble, listen to me answer a few questions and comments from people on the side. But we will be back here immediately. I'm waiting for it to get on HBO now. I hope it isn't prompt at 9. Yeah, so now we got about 4 minutes or so. So we will see you guys back here. All right. You got it. Let's go. Well, we're going to be back in an hour when this show comes back off to do the live stream review and reaction. So thanks again, everybody, for being here, and see you in about an hour and 5. Ow.